I said, screw it. I said, keep on talking like that. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to whoop your ass. That's it. I'm not leaving anything out tonight. Noah texts me on my way over there and he says, Dad, I love you. But if you show up over here, I promise you I'll never speak to you again.
My encouragement to you was you pursue your son.
Yeah.
You go after him. And part of that is respecting his space. And that's the hardest part.
Welcome to Go in Public. I'm your host, RJ. Tonight, like every other night, we have a special guest. But this time he's not a guest because it's his second time. It's my boy, my brother, CDOT is in the building. Chris, what's up, man? Thank you for coming again.
Man, always happy to be here.
Yeah, man. For the ones that don't know you, give a little bit of an introduction of who you are, what you stand for, and man, why you're here.
I am a husband, son, father, servant. My goal is to speak with my actions. So I am the founder from Boys to Gentlemen, not Boys to Men. Please I don't want no copyright.
Okay.
It's from Boys to Gentlemen. We're focused on bringing the father back into the family equation, and we're doing that with action and supporting these youth. I am excited to be on your platform. We had this hour and a half conversation on the way.
Bro, I told you, he calls me today.
In your defense.
He called me today and I said, don't even start. Like, you're coming on tonight. Don't even start. An hour and 21 minutes later, we get off the phone. I'm like, hey, like, what are we going to talk about tonight? Like, you do it every single time, but it's also, man, it's motivating, encouraging, uplifting, but it's also raw and genuine at the same time. So,
for sure.
Man, so like when we were chatting, GP, anytime I talk to Chris, it's unscripted on the phone. It's never like, hey, let's talk about this issue or whatever. Like let's do it for social media. It's always like, bro, I'm dealing with something or you're dealing with something. And it's just, okay, this is the heartbeat of who I am and who I think you need me to be. And so tonight, it's not an interview. It's just us talking as dudes about the things that we're going through. So you started, bro. Like, what you want to talk about? I know you have some stuff on your heart and some stuff on your plate right now that we just want to kind of dive in and let's just talk.
Man, I'm gonna jump in kind of what we were talking about earlier. I want to commend you, and you already gave the green light, and I'll let you navigate that. But just where you allowed me to be a part of your process in engaging your son, that's a difficult spot. You want to talk about an ego check to try, and where you are supposed to be the ultimate authority. You the father.
Yeah.
You the daddy. And to humble yourself enough to say, this child means enough to me that I am going to lean on somebody else to be able to make sure I make a good decision or make an adjustment if I need to. And I appreciate your honesty, because I don't know if you recognize this or not. You don't try to present yourself in a good light. You like that kid to tell it all, like, I did this, I forgot, and I did this.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, because sometimes people can't really get real sound advice because they won't tell what they actually did.
Right, because a watered down testimony heals no one, right?
Nobody.
So if I'm calling you and I need help, I can't leave any of the details out, right? Because I've done that in my life, bro. Like, I've kept my suit jacket on and maybe looked the part, but I was breaking on the inside.
Man.
And so let's give the audience a little bit of a backstory of what happened. Man, it was my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
And man, we had drinks, a party, everybody's there. I mean, just having a good time. And it wasn't like, oh, people are getting drunk and all this stuff. It was just like having a good time, right? But my kids had never seen me in that atmosphere. And I didn't realize that, right? And so Jeremiah, being my oldest, Noah and Selah went off. They went with my parents, as the night ended. But Jeremiah repeatedly said, Dad, I'll stay here with you. What he was saying, now that I know what he was saying, Dad, I want to make sure you're good, right?
He stepped into the parent role. Yeah.
Was son dad, right?
Yeah.
And so he was just making sure that I was good. And I'm saying, okay, cool. Like, nothing's weird going on. Like, so I don't mind that. And we were going to Uber home. But he was like, no, Dad, you're not driving, right? And I wish if I could go back, I wish I would have been like, no, let's just Uber. Like, screw it. We'll go pay whatever. It's 25 minutes to the house, but screw it. We'll just Uber. Everybody's safe. But he is 17 at the time, and it's a 25 minute drive. I think he's good. One of my best friends is driving ahead of him. So I think we're good. All right. So that's my birthday weekend. They go back to their mom's house and I'm just going to be raw tonight. Like it's just going to be whatever. I pray that they're not watching the pod, right? Not my kids, but their mom and all that, because I just don't know how to not tell the story correctly.
Right.
And so, bro, I'm over there and I get these ugly text messages, and the text message, and I'm not going to say them because it does no good to tell them, right? But it led me to pick up the phone and call Jeremiah, and I was like, hey, like, what's up? Like, why did you feel the need to tell mom everything that went on? Like, I never asked what goes on at that house. Like, we just kind of respect that boundary. Mm-hmm. And after our conversation and other conversations with my dad, I've dissected this whole scenario multiple times, right? And the first thing that Jeremiah said was, Dad, I was tired and I'm sleepy. And she just kept on asking.
He got worn down.
Mm-hmm. I think he's just making an excuse for not wanting to tell the truth. No, he got worn down repeatedly. Who was there? What was going on? How were you? What time did you get to? All those things. And to the point I lash out, and I'm just like, she has no reason. Like, why do you feel the need to tell her what I'm doing? I'm a grown ass man type stuff like that. And I was like, man, everything I do for y'all, everything you're wearing, all these things, right? I jump into now the possession dad.
Yeah.
Right. I'm flexing because sometimes I used to flex only in what I gave my kids, right? Mm-hmm. The presents instead of just being present, right? And Jeremiah's not like this. His character is good, man. And God knows, like, this is a good young man.
Yeah.
But I said something that triggered something, and he said, Dad, it's just a shirt. I can go buy another one. And I lost it, Chris. And I said,
I said, great. No.
Yeah, you ungrateful, you know what? But I didn't say the, you know what?
Right.
I didn't cuss at him right then. And I was like, hey, like, if y'all don't chill, I'm taking both of y'all's keys.
Yeah.
Right. Those cars that you drive, I bought those, right? Like, Dad bought those things. Like, I had the authority. I'm the ultimate, right? Boom. And he says, it's just a shirt, Dad. And I said, screw it. I said, keep on talking like that. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to whoop your ass. That's it. I'm not leaving anything out tonight. And so I go over there, and I'm going over there to discipline because I hear disrespect. I don't hear hurts. I hear disrespect.
Yeah.
When I'm driving over there, my son Noah, I'm FaceTiming Jeremiah on this. Noah's there. Remember, I told you they had just bought some, I think, chilies or whatever on my card. So I think I'm doing good dad stuff, right? Because I'm paying for it. That don't mean nothing. Noah texts me on my way over there, and he says, Dad, I love you. But if you show up over here, I promise you I'll never speak to you again. My pride didn't know how to read between the lines. Yeah. My ego said he's also challenging my authority.
Now I got two whoopings.
So I got two. And it's all right. I'm Mexican. I'm used to fighting two against one type stuff. Right? I was never going to lay my hands on my boys, but they don't know that.
Right.
Because sometimes as dads, we want to scare the hell out of them.
We want to punk them.
We want to punk them, right? So I get there, boom, and I'm smart enough because I have a past, right? And I know the conflict's going to happen between their mom and me. So we have those conversations. I bring the constable, and I said, hey, I'm getting the keys, lashing out. Well, and the constable's like, well, he can do it. Whose car is this? Whose is it?
Whose name is it in?
RJ's. Okay, cool. Who pays RJ? But whatever, right? Those things don't matter, but they mattered at that time because my ego was so low.
Yeah.
Right. And, bro, as things started just being communicated, I broke. And if I could pause that scenario, I was breaking as I was seeing their face. I'm hearing the officer, I'm seeing their mom, but I'm also seeing the hearts of my kids. Just wondering, like, Dad, like, why did it have to get to this point?
Yeah.
And Chris, then it happened. All that, they don't speak to me. We're almost a month in, and you know the struggle. I've been talking to you, and I'm like, Chris, I don't know what to do, bro. Like, I try to make a point, but I think I made the wrong point. Mm-hmm. And now my kids aren't talking to me, and I miss those moments. And so tell me what you were telling me, because, like, that was one of the hardest, and I'm still not completely done with it. Right. But we're walking through it. And so I want you to kind of like just share with the audience what you were sharing with me and how, as my brother, like you did not leave because I was being a terrible dad, but you understood like kind of where I was at.
Yeah.
But you helped me navigate to like figuring this thing out.
Yeah. I think, and again, I want to give you credit to your humility, because I told you some things that could be triggering, and you want to talk about punch to the ego. But the first thing that we had to address is, were you dealing with them or were you dealing with their mom?
Right.
And that was you had no reserve from it. You said, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking to my son. I'm talking to her.
Right.
And, you know, I think you could almost hear her voice through the words that he was saying. Mm-hmm. But like one of the things I used to say when I worked at Sprint, they punch the face they can reach.
Right.
Customer service lied to them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come in the store, you cussing me out as if I got your account right now.
Right. As my name is Sprint,
messing with stuff. Yeah. But I don't even got that type of authority. I can't even get into your account till you give me a certain element. But I'm looking at my friend that is genuinely seeing the pain of his son from a misunderstanding, where he was saying, Dad, I want you to know, I want to know that you're okay. You heard I'm irresponsible. I shouldn't have been doing this. That's not what he said. Mm-hmm. This is something, like you said, it's something new to him. He never saw you in that light before. And so whatever experience that he could potentially have, or horror stories that he hears, now it comes back like, I don't want my dad to be in that story. Yeah. So now we're processing it out. We're coming to it. And then the difficult part came in, again, ego. Mm-hmm. Did my son expose me? Did I have more energy towards what I'm doing from a monetary standpoint? So is there a buying aspect to my fatherhood? Is there a demand that you respect me, in essence, not respect me, but really bow to me, be extra grateful?
Can I bond out of this behavior?
100%. Right. So let me go back to all the things that I bought you to solidify. In this moment, I'm not offering stability for you. I'm not modeling for you. I am literally mad at you. Right. For not having the capability to deal with something I couldn't even deal with as an adult.
Right. And I'm asking you to do it as a 17-year-old.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, you know, as we're going through this conversation, my encouragement to you was, you pursue your son. Yeah. You go after him. Mm-hmm. And part of that is respecting his space. And that's the hardest part. Because you want to go, like, you already made the mistake to go over there to grab the car, all that different stuff. Now I done really stepped in it. Mm-hmm. Can I continue to pursue now that there's a certain level of justification in his behavior? Because now you overreacted. Right. Now you done fell into it. Am I going to stand on principle and keep digging? Or am I going to step back and say, you know what, I shouldn't have done this?
Bro, I love what you just said right there, because I think as men, as fathers, the way that we grew up, we're standing on 10 toes down.
Come on, man.
But sometimes as dad, you can't stand 10 toes down. You got to get on your knees and say, God, I need help right now. Like, because I don't know how to do this, because the way that I did it is completely wrong. Mm-hmm. I might not have been wrong feeling disrespected, but I was wrong in my approach. Yeah. And so you told me something. You were like, all right, now you got to break it down on Jeremiah's level.
100.
What was he feeling? Why does he think this is wrong? What does he think about alcohol? What does he think about dad drinking now? What do you think about Christians having drinks? All these things that I never processed. Yeah. Right? Because I was never him. I grew up always seeing that. Mm-hmm. Right? So now this is the first time he's seeing this. And I remember when I get there, and this is just a memory now, when I get there, the shirt that I told him that I bought is in the middle of the yard. That's the little boy in him saying, this is what caused the whole issue. I'm done with that shirt.
Yeah, you can't say it no more.
Right. Yeah. And I remember feeling like I knew I messed up. Yeah. But my pride wouldn't say I'm sorry, because I had to be the ultimate authority. Right. And so you told me, and man, I remember we had that conversation. It was crazy. I'm actually pulling up to the studio, and we're about to shoot another episode with another guest, and I'm talking to you on the way over here, and you tell me like, hey, like, really consider pursuing your son. Yeah. And the Lord knows I have tons of good friends. And we talked about this earlier, but I knew the friend to call.
Yeah.
Especially about this issue. And you told me something today that really just blessed me. You're like, man, I commend you for listening. Right. And as men, we don't always listen.
We sure don't.
I don't. I
sure
really don't. Right. Like my boy Jameson says, RJ, you a hot boy. Like you say whatever you want to say. And that's not always a good transparency. Sometimes that's stupidity.
Right.
Right. And after you and I talked, my dad called me. I mean, instantly. Bro, and if there's ever been a season where my dad's voice is the loudest, it's in this season of my life.
Yeah.
At 41 years old, I feel like a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy waiting to hear from dad. And now 41 years
Kinda
old,
feel good,
bro,
though.
like our relationship is so close, but as this, me and dad's is so close, this one's feeling like it's distancing.
Yeah.
And so I went and I bought Jeremiah a journal. And I remember writing in it, and I said, son, I believe in you. Yeah. And I believe in the call that you have on your life, but I also just like you as a person, and I love you more than you'll ever know. And I want you to start jotting down the things of your life.
Yeah.
That's in the journal. And then I just wrote him all the things that I thought about him and started just speaking words of affirmation, but also just breaking down, hey, let's talk. Let's talk about why you felt like this.
Yeah.
Instead, it's not wrong for you to feel like this. Right. And then I put the keys under the journal and just dropped it off, right? Give him his car back. I still haven't, I heard from him once. You don't know this part. So 2 weeks ago, that happened in May, right? 2 weeks ago, I hadn't heard from him. Boom. And all of a sudden we're out dancing, a group of us. And I have not heard from Jeremiah. Heard from Noah, heard from Selah. And my phone rings. We are at a dance hall, right? Mm-hmm. Chris, my phone rings and it's Jeremiah.
Oh, you finna run out and answer that.
Boy, did I. Like, I swear Usain could not have caught me, right? I see that thing and I run out. Man, they probably thought I was stealing. Yeah. Bro, like I run out there and I answer the phone and I just hear his voice, bro. And I'll cry right now talking about it, but to hear your son's voice for the first time in a long time will break you. And he says, Dad, I've been asked to speak tomorrow. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you know, that missions trip I went to LA, the group is here and we're doing revival nights. And they asked me to be one of the speakers tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Will you be there? And I'm sitting there in the parking lot of a Red River dance hall. And I'm just like, and my eyes are just, I can't contain it, bro. Like, and I'm crying and I'm sitting there saying, but son, I'm sorry. And he says, Dad, I've forgiven you a long time ago.
Yeah.
And but I remembered your voice. I remember my dad's voice. And I said, but Jeremiah, your feelings matter. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Like, it's okay for you to, communicate your feelings, and it's okay for you to let me know that you were hurt. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that though, those things. And he said, Dad, will you be there tomorrow? Yeah. Bro, I get there. Of course I'm there and I'm the first one there, right? Mm-hmm. I'm front row center and I'm there and I'm looking at my son and it's almost 100. It might be more than 100 students out there and they're having revival nights. And I see my son worshiping. Like I've never seen him so free in my life, like in worship. And I'm sitting there saying, God, like, how can you be so good when I was so bad to my son? Like how, like, and then when they called Jeremiah up to start speaking, I kid you not, Chris, as he's walking on stage, all of his life memories and moments are now being played in my mind.
For sure.
When he was 1, when he was 3, when he was 5, 7.
That's my baby.
That is my boy. And people don't know. I became a father on Father's Day weekend. Like, this is my seed. Like, this is it right here. Yeah. I love my others, but this is my one, right?
First.
And he gets up there and he shares his testimony of how at an early age, the enemy started silencing his voice to believe that he is a leader, that he's good enough. And he talks about just being addicted to stuff that a lot of men are addicted to and the Lord setting them free. And now he has this boldness to talk about Jesus. And I'm sitting there saying, my God, like, what?
Yeah.
And so, man, thank you for just being that voice. Like, because although we're still trying to navigate this, right? My relationship with Noah and Selah, like, that's back to normal. But Jeremiah is like, now he's 18, he's an adult, he's like becoming who he is, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I still don't know how to do it, but I haven't stopped pursuing.
Yeah.
Right. My brother knows, like, every single day, probably twice a day at least, I send Jeremiah a text, words of affirmation or just things that I've always told him. And he's yet to respond. And it's okay when we're good because teenagers don't always respond, right? You can send them a whole thing and they say, okay, right? Like
with an emoji
or a thumbs up. And I'm like, what?
I just sent you a novel.
A whole thing, right? Yeah. Like, I didn't need Chat GPT to help me. Like, that's from my heart, bro. But he hasn't. But when we're good, it doesn't really matter. But when we're not good, it stings.
Yeah.
Right. And so, man, I want to say thank you because it is a journey. It's navigating that every single day, trying to find out. I think on his side, is dad going to leave or is he going to continue to push through?
One of the hardest things for us to understand, we all make mistakes. We can do damage. But understanding when I cut somebody, I don't get to determine how they bleed.
Ooh.
And sometimes we want the apology to be enough. But your cut requires stitches. Your cut is a lot more than a Band-Aid that's just going to close up.
Yeah.
So there becomes an irritation when it's still bleeding and it's still hurting. We're not taking the ownership of what the damage could possibly been done. Because sometimes we want to minimize it by saying, I ain't even do that much for you.
Right.
But what is that for somebody else? You know, the same sun that melts butter will harden clay and will evaporate water. Everybody responds differently to the same stimulus, but it comes to a perspective of, am I going to take that step that you took and say, son, I'm still going to pursue you, and not with my mouth, because I'm going to respect your space. I'm not going to try to love bomb you. I'm not going to try to buy you. I'm going to sit in a place that's uncomfortable for me. I'm going to be patient, and I am going to run, like you said, Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
I'm going to run at every opportunity that you give to be there. I'm going to sit in that moment and understand you might feel different tomorrow. That's hard, but I want you to think for a second, because all you can see sometimes is the pain. I want you to think what that's going to model for him. Yeah. What type of consistency, not just for himself, but because when he makes a mistake, he's going to revert back to, dang, dad kind of, hey, I kind of put him through the ringer.
Well, and I think you're right, because when Noah and I kind of reconnected, one of the things Noah did say was like, hey, dad, I probably overreacted. And I love you and I'm not going to stop loving you.
Yeah.
Right.
But you got to create that space for that. Because as long as I'm still arguing back and trying to defend my point, he never gets to process enough to see that. You not being demanding, and we say it all the time, you got to be willing to sit in a place where it say, my commitment is I am seeking for you to be understood, not demanding for me to be understood.
Well, I love that. And talk about what you have presented for your kids. Y'all have this... Is it Wakanda?
Going to Wakanda.
Going to Wakanda. Describe like what that means and why you came up with it, because like it's one of the things I've never heard of when it comes to parenting, and I've done all the parenting classes, and I pride myself of being a good parent, although I'm not always a good parent. But this level of openness, this stage that you've built for your children is truly above the standard.
Yeah, so kind of like we were talking about before, when it comes down to, there's a cliche statement out there, you don't want to be your child's friend. I'm not your little friend, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to clear up, it's important to be your child's friend. You don't want to be their peer. You don't want to be at a place where you think we're on an even level. But it's my responsibility to model friendship for you. But just because I'm your friend don't mean that I can't correct you. And I think people struggle with that balance. Yeah. I'm supposed to model being a good friend for my son. No different than a man is supposed to model. Like, I don't have any daughters. You know, I can't produce nothing but boys. But like, if I had a daughter, they always say your first example of your husband is supposed to be your father.
Correct.
Well, that sounds a little weird. It's
Right.
like, I don't want to look at daddy that way. But what they're saying is, I'm supposed to be modeling the taste that you have for what you go out there to get. Why shouldn't that be the same way for your sons? The type of friend that you're going to have, the type of person that you're going to associate yourself with. I don't want my son to have a friend that solely views him the way I would be if I was just this stoic father just trying to punk my sons and to be able to do it. Talk to some of these successful men out there and see how much they struggle with interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
You know why? Because daddy said, hey, stiff arm, don't hug me, don't be no punk. You learn more of what not to do than you learn what to be.
Bro.
So we are sitting in a place where, you know, I'm grateful for my grandfather. And because he took the time to give me those safe places to expose where I was hurting, like that wasn't my biological grandfather. Mm-hmm. He stepped in a place where, one, we didn't share any DNA. And two, I was not his responsibility. And we're not talking about father. We're talking about you adding in a whole brand new baby in your 50s or 60s. And you're making a decision to say, okay, yes, we want him here. You fought for me to be in a place where I'm already coming into the world feeling unwanted because my mother nor father is there. So when you step into that place and then I get older, yes, I'm worried about being left. Because one thing that I tell anybody that I work with, it becomes taboo for fathers to be gone. Like, you go into the hood, like, I don't know my dad. I don't know my dad either.
What's
like, that ain't even no big deal. Like, I heard a comic say one time, you know what the most confusing day in the hood is? Father's Day. And, like, they're laughing, but there's so much truth to that. It stings.
That stings. Like, I don't know to laugh or to like.
Yeah, like, you gotta laugh so you don't look weak.
That's it, bro.
And that's
like,
their point with it. But you step into it. When you say you don't know your mother, people's response, you don't know they tear their face up.
Right.
You don't know your mother?
And they don't even judge you. They judge what type of woman is that?
When you look at the face as a kid, you think there's got to be something so wrong with me for the idea of a mother not wanting to be there with her child. So I tell people a lot of times, when your mother's not there, you don't expect anybody to stay. And that's one of those mother wounds that we talked about previously. And so if I'm going into a place where I don't expect anybody to see me as valuable enough to not be able to walk away, because the person that I left, that I was attached to with an umbilical cord, she didn't see enough in me to say I want to stay and raise this baby. Now, I don't know all her circumstances at that time because I'm a child. But when I look back at it and now I'm stepping into a place of fatherhood, I got my opportunity from my grandfather to model all these great things, but it got cut short because he passed when I was 18. So right when I needed him the most, as far as from the action standpoint, he just stockpiled me all before that. So now I'm 18 years old. I'm missing the most important person in my life, and now I'm going to navigate out here. And so when I had my first son at 25, I would always, like, I told him, like, your name was J-Ma. Like, my oldest is named Jeremiah too. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm sitting back and looking at it like, J-Ma, I need you to know, like, I wrote letters to you. I wanted you before I was a father. Yeah. And so when I have this, you know, we get this bond. And as he's growing up, I start seeing, I work with kids. I work with at-risk kids all the time.
All day long, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to tell myself, I was cussing in middle school, like, yeah. Now I knew how to code switch because my grandparents were you know, in the ministry or whatnot, and I wasn't gonna embarrass them. But boy, you catch us in a Mortal Kombat game or a sideline buster, what?
Or Madden, right?
We sound like Bernie Mac Jr.
Please,
going off. But you know, in that aspect, I didn't want to set a false representation. And one of the things you talk about, I don't teach my kids bad words. I say adult words. Because I don't want them to hear somebody of good character say a curse word, and now you associate them as a bad person.
Being bad,
no,
right.
It's an adult word, and you choose whether you're gonna move in that way. But there's some people that are phenomenal people that curse, and so I don't want them to get that false perception. So jumping into it, I created an Amnesty Hour, and we love Marvel, and Black Panther is like one of my favorite characters. And so I told them, when you need to talk to me, we're gonna go to Wakanda, and we go into Wakanda. Anything we talk about, like, you can curse, you can say whatever it is that you want. I need this to be in a safe place. And when we started doing that, the way he started opening up, like, of course, I'm a crybaby anyway, but just to hear some of the things, like how he felt about his mother leaving, how he felt about certain situations, it was so eye-opening for me, because, like, man, he not a baby no more.
Yeah.
Like, you know what age they are because you cut the umbilical cord.
Right.
But to think like you already at that place of mental capacity to even think that. So it's a learning aspect for me. And so as grateful as I am for the aspect of him sharing that, I'm even more grateful for the development. But that doesn't happen if we don't create those environments. So creating a space for your children, I encourage anybody, have that safe space for them to come and speak to you about things that could potentially get them in trouble. Because I promise you, you want them to talk to you rather than some of these other things.
Right.
That have
And we talked about that. I truly believe some parents are afraid to discipline because they're afraid that if they have this authoritative voice, they are no longer the friend of the kid.
Right.
But it's not friendship. They're no longer
a peer.
100%. Right? Now we can't kick it. We can't joke about stuff. Right. I think for me, my ultimate goal is to raise up my kids to become my best friends.
That's so dope.
My brother is in the room right now, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have to do anything to become my brother.
But be born.
Right. Friendship, I had to deposit things. Wow. I had to get to know you. I had to make sure that we clicked, that we had some things in common. That's what built the friendship, right? Conversations on the phone. You weren't born a friend of RJ. I wasn't born a friend of Chris, right?
Right.
It was investments.
And it was a choice.
A choice, right? Deposits, right? Okay. Man, I might not agree with you, but I'm not going to leave you. You're still my boy, right?
Yeah.
Type thing. And so I truly believe the ultimate goal as a parent is to raise up your kids to become your best friends.
Yeah.
And although you're building a friendship, you're not a peer like you're saying, but I truly believe, and I challenge parents right now to stop being afraid to have an authoritative voice in fear that you're going to not be that peer anymore.
Right.
Because you never want to be the peer, like you said, right? You don't. Because now you become a cheerleader, right?
Because you become an enabler.
Right.
When you hit that peer. I can be your friend. I can be the person that you want to argue Marvel versus DC with. We play Mortal Kombat together. Like, all of those are friend activities. And sometimes just somebody you want to talk to. Not about heavy stuff. Me and my son argue about anime all the time. He, like, one of his things that he wants to give me, he's looking for the character that can beat Goku. Goku is that, like, okay, let's break this down. Don't bring nobody to me that can't blow up a planet. And he gonna find something else to say. But I love that interaction, you know. And so when I'm working with my kids and we're having these conversations, it's big. But even kind of segueing into a more difficult point is parenthood is not always synonymous with marriage. It's not always synonymous.
Say that again real quick.
Like, parenthood is not always synonymous with marriage.
And hold that thought. GP, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, get ready for this next segment. All right, GP, we're back with CDOT. Man, get into what you just said.
Being a good parent is not the same thing as being a good husband. And
I told you that today. Remember, I said
100.
I've always been a good dad, but I was not always a good husband.
And so, just to be vulnerable on my end, I have had to learn, number one, execution and intention don't always match. And you can't put your intention over your execution. No matter how much I intended to do well, it doesn't change the execution of what you did. And so as I'm looking from, you know, first coming from being a divorcee, that's the first embarrassing aspect. You know, you come in something and you say, I'm here to the end. And it's, hey, we in Texas, no fault state. It don't even require anything. So one of the greatest lessons that I learned from my first marriage is, like, you can't come into marriage trying to be a martyr. You can't come in saying that I'm going to love you enough for the both of us. You know, no disrespect to my ex-wife. My belief is she loved the idea of me. She didn't love me. Whenever I was struggling, it was like she didn't know how to handle that pressure. Because, you know, when I'm out and I'm energetic, I'm laughing, I'm helping people, I'm grilling, I'm cooking, I'm playing with all the kids, I'm taking stuff off, I'm listening to all your struggles. Oh yeah, that's my husband. Yeah. When I'm depressed, when I'm fighting mama issues, when I'm dealing with abandonment, when I'm feeling like so much of my energy is pent up and exert it on just trying not to snap, trying not to look like the crazy man.
Yeah.
When I get to that place, hey, let me let you have a moment. I don't need a moment. I need somebody to be there. And, you know, I think both of us had an ignorance in that place where me thinking like, oh, if I just love a little bit harder, I'll be good. That wasn't the issue. The issue was there might not have been that actual love there to begin with. Yeah. And you make that commitment and you just trying to dig harder, come into it. And, you know, even if there's a place where, and there's plenty of places where I fell short, nothing major. So it wasn't any infidelity, any crazy stuff in that regards. But, you know, the way that was taken from me, it was rough. And so one of the things that was helpful is I left it all out on the table. No, forget the embarrassment. I did everything in my power, and I can sleep well on that to save my first marriage. Yeah. And I failed. It was over. And so it was to the point now where how everything worked out, I never really got the opportunity to tell her thank you and how much I appreciated the fact that she divorced me. And that might sound cliche. I'm speaking for me. I'm grateful that she divorced me because I would have never did it. And I might have drove myself into an early grave trying to hold on to something that I might not have supposed to be in to begin with. And so I'm grateful for the kids. But now you fast forward, I'm in a marriage now. And now I'm hit with the idea of, are you back at a familiar place? Because familiar is dangerous because it don't have to be true. It just has to give you some type of vision and attach with a past trauma, especially something you haven't healed and dealt with. And now you off to the races. So a lot of the place where even myself personally, you know, I've had to apologize to my wife a lot over the past, you know, couple months because it was things that I was aware of, and it's that intention versus execution. Yeah. Regardless of whether, you know, I intended to do something, when it comes down to setting boundaries, relationships, friendships, partnerships, you don't have to be wrong. You don't have to do anything wrong to be out of place. And that's one of the hardest lessons I had to learn because it's like, I was raised around females. And I tell people I learned how to get beat up before I learned how to fight because I had so many, I couldn't hit back. So they tagging me up and beating me up. And, you know, it made me tougher. And then I got extra because so many people were afraid, like they didn't come save me because they felt like I needed that because they didn't want me to be soft. They didn't want me to be a punk. Yeah. So where normally you come in and leave that boy alone, it's like, give him a couple more. So he not coming out soft. And so it just gave me a distorted view on a lot of things and a lot of anger. You can only get beat up so many times or you can't do nothing back before you snap. And so it really comes back to having all of those feelings pent up. I learned bad habits, bro. I learned the people pleasing. I learned lying about how I felt. I learned how not making myself a part of the equation. And so I also learned an extreme comfortability with females. I felt comfortable. Like I can't tell you how many friends I had, you know, when you the only dude around a group of girls, you know, oh, what's up? Hey, girl. Like they call you girl because they've gotten so comfortable in the conversation. Yeah. And so that was normal for me. But what it didn't teach me was how to set boundaries. You don't have to do something wrong for it to be out of place. And so, you know, some of the most important relationships that I thought that I had became problematic for my marriage. And I had to sit in that because my wife allowed it to continue to go. And for that, you know, it was heartbreaking for me. It's like, I done put you through this for the past couple of years in a place where, you know, I'm not making the proper decision to prioritize you the way that I need to. And I'm not even thinking about, you know, because I'm thinking I'm being faithful. Ain't no funny business. Ain't nothing going on. I'm not looking at the extra of like, why you always with that other female? Just because I call her some title to me doesn't mean that I'm alleviating what other people are seeing. So when you're trying to talk about creating a safe place as a man, cultivating security, like they talk about the love languages and everything. Yeah. I think security should definitely be a love language.
I think it has to be, bro.
It has to be. And not just financially for sure, but security
I truly believe,
emotional place.
Right. I've surveyed women, right? And I think the two things that women are looking for, stability and security. Right? Like they just want to make sure that you're there. And now like I'm not married, right?
Right.
My wife's out there. Y'all hit me up, please. But but I heard something because we dog women when they're like, well, what do you bring to the table? Like, what do you got, right? And I used to get frustrated until my boy Josh hit me with something today, actually. And it's women just want that security and stability. So they're trying to see, do you got that already or do you got to grow up into that?
Yeah.
Right. And no bashing on women. I promise you, there's some really good women out there. But a lot of times we see that as, oh, you're a gold digger. You're whatever.
Yeah.
There might be a place of hurt in there saying, I banked on somebody. I fell in love with a counterfeit version of this. Mm-hmm. And when we went to the altar, I found out that they had none of these characteristics.
I was doing a single mothers conference, and I'm a petty individual, especially when I start building more relationship with you.
Yeah.
I'm a petty individual. And so we're in the middle of the single mothers conferences, and these are all women that I work with their kids. I got a good relationship with.
Right.
And I said, real question, how many of y'all let somebody try to flip your taxes? And they...
Bro, you cannot say that.
Yes, I can. Because they was like, shut up.
But it's so, I would have loved
every last one of them.
Right.
Every last one of them. I said, you letting them flip your taxes and they ain't did a cartwheel yet. You ain't got nothing back.
Bro, you know when it's February, March, right, bro? And you could go to Foot Locker, right? And the skinny dude is with the heavy girl and he's all hugged up on her because she's about to pull out that green card, right? And just the H&R Block card that just, baby, right? All these things. But it's so, I think as women are looking for stability and security, men are looking for flaws. Do you look a lot like my mom? Because if you do, you're toxic, you're not worth it and stuff like that. Truly, it's because we just haven't dealt with ourselves.
100%. And I think a big struggle that we get into now that makes everything more and more difficult, I'm trying to encourage more of a conversation. And I think the generalization has become a problem. And so even one of the podcast things that we're working on is how do we kind of formulate it. And if somebody take the idea, it's cool, but you know how they say battle of the sexes.
Yeah,
we want to have something that's a battle for the sexes, meaning like I'm not fighting you, I'm fighting for you. Even when it comes down to an aspect of if I gotta fight some of my own insecurities and issues in order to create a safe place for you to say something, it's big. So you know whether you're in a marriage or a relationship, a lot of times one of the hardest things to do is to sit back and say, you know what? I need to be afforded to not be okay with something. Even if you're not doing nothing wrong. I need to be able to say I don't like that without being marked as this insecure,
about that because
weak.
That's right. Chris, because like in relationships, I don't want to say I don't know why the Lord has given me this platform sometimes to talk about relationships with these single people, right? Because I'm single and all these things too. But he's taught me kind of like just the blueprints, a recipe of I'm no longer that dude.
Yeah.
So now I can search for my wife because I'm here right now. But the thing I hear a lot is people say, oh, I don't want an insecure dude or whatever like that. So that tends to silence the proactively the boundaries that men want to set. Mm-hmm. And so guys they're afraid to say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like you following these people on Instagram or whatever, because they don't want to be labeled insecure. But in reality, the insecurity won't speak up.
100%.
Because I don't want to lose her and I don't want to seem insecure. So I might as well just be quiet. And now who's really settling?
Absolutely.
Right. And so now you don't know how to not bottle that up. Yeah. And so when you're at a grocery store and a guy just says hi to her, you blow up and you start a big old fight. Yep. And now you lost a woman you would have never lost had you have just spoken up.
And I think it works both ways in the regards of you buy into this false macho, nothing bothers me. But what's the most dangerous part is when you start believing it yourself. Now you've become numb and you wondering why you don't like her the same no more. You had to do so much work to become somebody that you're not even the person that likes that. So I don't care, whatever. You've emotionally detached yourself to the point where you genuinely don't care. And so now the flip side comes back. You know how you see these memes and stuff on social media, like when the guy's being goofy and the chick's like, why you play so much? And they just go into this stoic don't answer anything. It's like, cause you shot down the child, and the child says you only get one time to slap me, and I'm never coming back out.
Wow.
So now you don't have access. So when he was jovial, being silly, putting straws in his nose, he's looking for that safe place to just express that.
Right, because he felt comfortable. At some degree, he felt comfortable.
And you shut it down because you had a moment of irritation. Instead of saying, baby, you know what? That's beautiful that you do that. I'm cramping right now. It's beautiful that you did that. I got some struggles. Please don't lose that. But can we tone it down for the moment? You're not going to say that. What's the response? Why you got to be so childish? You sure right. I bet you I won't do it again.
Ever again.
And that has become the struggle. We kill opportunities to be our authentic self.
Man, you said something, though, today. We're talking about killing opportunities. We talk about dads and their sons not being afraid to be corrected publicly.
For sure.
Right? You share a story about you messed up.
Oh yeah. So I'm in a situation where, you know, it's from a kind of business standpoint, you know,
Yeah.
transporting kids, whatever the case may be. And I am really sitting there. The dude is trying to be nice to me because, you know, long story short, it was some other paperwork I was supposed to fill out or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a great opportunity because my son holds me up as like faultless superhero.
Right.
And I'm like, I kick my own pedestal off because I don't want you to get a false view that you can't make mistakes, you can't mess up. So I brought him in the room while the gentleman was, you know, politely correcting me.
Yeah.
And he's nervous, like, oh, yes, because he's trying to keep it private. I said, no, go ahead. And so he's being real kind. He's like, well, you know, we kind of need to make sure that we get this one filled. I was like, so let me break it down, son. I filled out the wrong paperwork, and this could be problematic because we would need this. And luckily, nothing happened. But he was letting me know that it's important because this could have been detrimental for us, and something small could have been a problem. And my son was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. But it was that moment for him to learn and understand, like, I make mistakes. You need to own up when you make mistakes, not hide them. I don't want to ever present myself faultless to my children. And I tell them, like, if you can't find a flaw, come talk to me. I'll show you.
I got them all. I promise you. I got them. Well, we talked about sometimes, like, people like want to write a story, a headliner about my issue. Bro, just come talk. I got more. I got a lot more. It's uglier than you thought.
Come on, man.
I'm a lot muddier than you thought. I promise you.
For sure.
But man, I love it. I had a moment like that just a couple of weeks ago. Summertime, the boys and some of their friends started working for me, and you know, on a construction company, and we changed out the HVAC, and we're on a budget, right? It's a flip, one of our flips, and one of my investor partners. We buy the HVAC and it's a refurbished unit, but it looks brand new. But I don't know that my PM, my project manager, put a refurbished one in there. So what I've communicated to my partners is, oh yeah, HVAC is done, all the ductwork, everything's great, it's good. Well, when we do our weekly site visit, we open up that thing, and the old RJ would have shut that thing quick and be like, oh, we're good, like, to hide it.
Yeah.
But we also didn't know, and my brother was there, and so the investor finds out, okay, it's refurbished. And when I'm driving, I'm not there when he stayed back and looked at it, took pictures. When I'm driving, I knew the phone call was coming, and I told myself I'm in a season of my life where I will not tell a lie.
Right.
And so when he called me, I was like, yeah, you know what? I recognize it was a refurbished one, but I was going to correct off-site with, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
But I should also set the standard that we don't put refurbished stuff in there.
Yeah,
we put brand new.
It's got to be brand new.
Right, because they are investing a lot of money for brand new. We can't falsify what we're producing, right? But my son was able to see that, and that's big, right?
Huge.
And because like right now, a lot of us in our seasoned years of life, we like to just dog these youngsters, right? Oh man, you got no integrity, but you're not born with integrity. It has to be taught, right? It has
to be developed.
And so like these moments that we're showing our son, although it's awkward and uncomfortable, bro, the aftermath effect is so high, and the return on that investment is so high that I seen my dad be corrected. I seen my dad not take a shortcut and and fix it, where we could have just, okay, he profited an extra 2,000. No, he lost 1,500 to secure a relationship.
For sure.
Right. And I think that is it. Are we willing to have enough integrity in our lives to be corrected publicly so that we can win privately?
Right.
Right. And a lot of times we want to be so dominant, right, with our kids, our family, that we always have to say the last word. And I said something today is, if as a man and as a father, if we always say the last word,
man,
our kids never get a chance to say, thank you, Dad, I love you.
Say that again.
As men, as fathers, if we always have to have the last word, we never give our kids the opportunity to say, thank you, Daddy, I love you.
Whoo. Man, that's heavy. And you think about it just from, we keep using the word modeling. It's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
You're either modeling something healthy or you modeling something toxic. And I think that's the hard part for us to deal with, is in some places, kind of even the story that you just told, you just don't want to look like you're unprofessional. But hiding it would have been the unprofessional aspect. You think business people don't understand that sometimes they subordinates make choices that ain't had nothing to do with you?
Yeah.
If anything, how you carry the person that makes the mistake. Like, I even remember when I was in the military, you know, when we did in basic, I was dorm chief. Mm-hmm. Long story short, dorm chief, it's just a title with fake power that you responsible for everything. And so I'm getting in trouble for whatever any of my flight, and it's a mental game. They just trying to break you down.
Yeah. And
instead of yelling at my flight, because it would be anything, and some of them was doing it on purpose. They blouse and straps wasn't done. They collars was jacked up. Just anything to make me do push-ups. They be like, oh, dorm chief, they can't put their blouse and straps on. 45 degrees to the right, on your face, push Texas. Like, that's how they told you to do push-ups. And so I'm hopping down proceeding. So
I only heard major pain right there when you said that. I only heard major pain.
Yeah, so I do my push-ups, and I look at the person that made me do the push-ups, and I'll run over and I pat them on the chest and say, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
They didn't know how, like, you just took all the sting away from me. Like, I'm supposed to be able to be pissed and he gonna get mad. But when you start to model, like, we're not gonna get lost on this. I'm not gonna, like, they gave me a villain for us to unify against, and that's what they didn't realize. When the T.I. played the villain role, I could either be his tool or I could utilize that to say, okay, hey, look, you see they trying to separate us, right?
Yeah.
Your blouse and straps wasn't even that far off. But, you know, in this aspect, we're going to make sure that it's good. Or your hospital corners, we can tighten them up a little bit more. You have room to have that conversation. But what do? Man, you better get your job. You just took the same tone. And they're sitting over there like Mr. Burns off The Simpsons. Excellent. Like, because that's the whole
There's
goal.
Full circle. Had I just heard Jeremiah's emotions, I would not have reacted like that.
Yeah.
I would have said, son, you're right. It's hard to not tell mom the truth when she's asking.
100%.
And I get this isn't you asking. It's mom disguised in your body and your face, and it's coming through your lips, but it's sounding a lot like her.
Yeah.
Son, I'm sorry. I could have saved
not
months.
only would you have saved, you would have been preparing him to handle it.
Right.
Like, oh, dad struggles with this. Oh my God. And it's not even about demonizing anybody else. Like, sometimes you have to train people how to even deal with you. Like, one of the rules I have in my house, like, if you ask me something while I'm asleep, it don't count. Because I'll say anything to go back to sleep. So if you ask to go somewhere and I didn't fully wake up,
it don't count.
It don't count. You can't go. You know you can't go.
Yeah.
And it's just that aspect. If you decide to go, that means you took advantage of something, and there's consequences for that. You enjoy your time, because it's an automatic no next time, because you didn't do. And I'm patient with the same. It's like, if it's important, really wake me up. Don't come in and be like, Dad, can I go? So, can I go burn the car in the middle of the street? Yeah, go ahead. Like, I'm going to say whatever because I want to go back to sleep.
Right.
But understanding that's not me answering. That's my desire for my comfort in that place. So teaching them and modeling them, like, hey, it's certain things that you have to deal with me. If I get to talking too loud, I need you to say, hey, you getting kind of loud. Because one thing I had to teach one of my partners is, like, when your wife say you yelling, don't respond back with, I'm not yelling.
Yeah.
Because in your mind, I could go so much higher. And I'm going to tell her, my wife, this is one of the things I tell her all the time. Like, I would say, like, something, I was like, hey, man, you being mean. And her response would be like, oh, that's not mean. I was like, just because you can be meaner don't mean that wasn't mean.
Wow.
And she like,
you're right. You're right.
And her humility is beautiful. I'm difficult to deal with because I always got something to say. I'm always thinking. I'm always trying to go deeper. And so we even make the joke sometimes like we flip.
Bro,
like,
I don't shut
like
up. I don't shut up. There's a clock in here for a reason, right? We're already over, but no, but I don't care. That's but man, I want you to say, so when I went on your pod, right? Mm-hmm. And you reminded me of a story I told.
Man.
That if you could kind of just engage with the audience a little bit about how that was built.
Yeah.
What I said, how I said it, and what I felt, and then we can kind of break into that, and then we'll finish off with our last segment.
So when you came to Abilene, we're doing part of the podcast aspect for that, and we're talking about manhood.
Yeah, and
we're really diving into it, manhood intersection with fatherhood, and we're talking a little bit about the representative that we put out there.
Yeah, and
how sometimes the representative can take over. And you shared a story that was an eye-opening moment for you, and I was, when you said it, you was like, my son called me Pastor RJ. And that was for you recognizing like he would rather me be his pastor than his father because the pastor is nice to him. The pastor is saying sweet things. Dad is a butt. Right. And disrespectful and rude and mean and bullying us. So them seeing that character switch, when they choose a different version of you, ooh. Like for you to be able to recognize that and say like, cause some people would have been like, oh, okay, cool. Pastor RJ, even my son don't play with me. But no, but
because we care about the credentials, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we've had tons of titles in my life, your life,
for sure.
Tons of titles, but the best one has to be dad. Has to be
hands down.
I don't, and people now like, okay, like what does RJ's life look like? What does the next 5 years look like? And a lot of people think it's going to look like ministry again.
I'm not arguing.
But I'm also saying, God, I don't even care about that as long as these guys are proud to call me dad.
Yeah.
That's it. Like when I'm gone and I pass and people ask my kids about me, I want tears to be flowing down their cheeks, not because I hurt them, because I love them so much that their response is, I can't wait to talk about my dad.
Like when I say it's not a day that goes by, not one single day where I'm not either quoting, laughing, crying, or looking up like, dang, you still getting wins from the grave. Like my grandfather is talking to me every day.
Right.
And like if you've ever met me and you ain't heard something that my papa said,
then I don't know you, right?
You ain't spent much time with me at all.
We thought it was awkward and funny and weird, right? In old school, but yet now we're saying the things. I told you something today on the phone. In this season of my life at 41 years old, I love this guy to death, right? He's my spiritual dad and he's a big influence in my life, Tim Ross. But in this season of my life, the loudest influential voice beside the Lord is my dad, Ruben.
100%.
This is a guy that not only has the Lord shown me how to give him grace when I never thought I was supposed to give somebody grace who I put on a pedestal, but now I'm his age when he was raising me. And so now it's like, I can't wait to talk to my dad.
Yeah.
Right. Like
who else can relate?
Right.
Greater than that.
Than him. Yeah. And my dad and everybody who knows my dad knows like I can be in the middle of like city government people and my dad will call and he was like, yo, it's me, Rubber Duck. How you doing? And I'm like, Dad, like, can you be serious right now?
No.
No, he can't.
And
what? Are you working? Are you hardly working? Or like, what are you doing? Like, all these things and no chill, no care, because he knows like at the end of the day, like I don't care about this circle. And so I don't care about like what if ministry looks like something in the future. I just want to represent my kids well, where they say, man, I'm proud to call him dad.
100%. Like even in that moment, just shout out to my babies, putting them out. Jeremiah, my oldest, Elijah, Ezra, Isaiah, and Micah. And the younger two, they terrorists.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. But Daddy, I love you. I want my babies to know that I talk mess about them all the time, not in a negative way.
Yeah.
But just the aspect of the honor of fatherhood. I don't take that for granted.
No, it truly is a gift. Bro.
It really is. And so to have, my babies, and sometimes my oldest will check me and he'll be like, oh, your other kids. Because, I call some of the other kids my babies and stuff. And I'm like, I'm glad you doing that. Whether you being petty or not, I need you to know as much as I love them, they not you.
Wow.
They're not my seed.
I love them, but you.
Look, as much as I'll fight a person for them, I'll fight a bear for you.
Right.
In a place where I have no chance whatsoever to even potentially survive, I'm not going to hesitate to get over there for that. I ain't going to lie. As much as I care about them,
I love it, right? And
my first thought is like, I got to get back to my babies. That's going to be my hesitation.
I got to get back, right?
But when it comes to them, it really is. So I definitely, I love my babies.
I love that. And I love that about you, that you consider it an honor
100%
to be their dad. And I love that about you. And I had the same thing like with my kids, gosh, I don't exist without them.
Yeah.
Right. And this last 2 summers, I caught myself coaching AAU, bro. And I'm a soccer dude, right? And you guys do that. Like y'all do it for real, right? You and Coach
Shout
B,
out to Watch Me Work, Brian Taylor.
Bro, he's the best. Yeah. He's the best of the best. And our boy Brett is not, boy, he's too good too, right? Like that's but I'm out there, the soccer dude, and the only reason why I'm doing it is because I love my son so much. I'm gonna learn this sport.
Yeah.
And enough to coach him. Now, this summer, Noah had to work. And some of his best friends who call me Papa Bear, right? Papa Smurf, all these things, because I love them as well. But the weekend that Noah couldn't play, they're like, "Hey, Dad, are you still going to coach? Are you still going to?" Like I only do it because I love him. Like without Noah, without my kids, I don't love it. I only love it because I love them so much, right?
Yeah.
So, GP, thank y'all so much. We're going to get into my favorite segment now called Mic Flip. Mic Flip is where I, the host, become the guest, and the guest becomes the host. So, prep yourself. You're going to introduce yourself as the host of Going Public. Let's give yourself 5 seconds because I'm looking for some guest hosts in the future. So give yourself 5 seconds. Our team will give you the countdown, and then you go mic flip. Ask me any question. There's nothing off limits. You got 2 questions. It's my turn to go public.
What's up, good people? It's your boy CDOT. Hey, look, we are on the mic flip. I get the opportunity to interview my friend, Mr. RJ, and we coming out guns a-blazing.
That's all I know how to do.
We coming out guns a-blazing. First question.
Okay.
At what moment did you realize you failed as a husband?
Oh, golly. At what moment did I fail? Did I realize I failed as a husband? It wasn't, I was probably 5-6 years after the divorce. And I was still trying to get with her.
Yeah.
I knew I had messed up. I didn't know to what degree. And her wedding ring. Back then we didn't have credit, right? We didn't have no credit. Like I'm a Sprint boy. Like I just pay in cash because I got no credit. I saved up enough money to get this ring, and I was proud of the ring. It was a big ring, a nice ring. And when I asked her about it 6 years after our divorce, Chris, she told me that when we were separated, and I was at the bar with cash in my pocket that was supposed to be for child support, she had to sell that ring for pennies on the dollar to provide in the area where I was never supposed to not provide. So 6 years after the divorce, that I think is the summary of, wow, like I thought she was out there just being a bee. And the truth is I was the one being the bee.
Yeah.
I was thinking, she didn't want to have fun. No, she was doing a really good job of being a mom.
Yeah.
And I was out there trying to have fun.
Called responsibility.
Yes. So I was birthing the unhealed version of RJ.
Yeah.
Right? Because I thought, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be able to do all this. But at what expense, bro? So So that is, hopefully that's the answer that you wanted.
100%, because a lot of people think that it happens in the process.
No.
They say hindsight is 20/20 for a reason. So even in that aspect of you being able to recognize, it's like, yo, it's the point that you realize it's almost like having amnesia. And then all of a sudden something sparks and it's a flood. You start remembering everything. But now you look at things from a different lens. Like you said before, I thought that she was just being a stick in the mud, when in reality, she had to be to work tomorrow, or she couldn't spend this money and go here with me because who's going to watch the kids?
Right.
Or who's going to do these things? And
there's a lot of men out there right now thinking that the moms are just always griping and giving them a hard time. And truthfully, they're screaming for help.
For sure.
Bro. And so like now I told you something tonight is when you're healed, you tell the story differently.
Absolutely.
I no longer point and say, man, she was this. I point and say, man, I was not this.
Man, look, let me segue. Let me speak to the men out there right now. Hear me if you don't hear anything. Do not equate your experience with the children with your wife or your partner's experience with the children.
Absolutely.
And the reason why that's such a big mistake is you don't understand what it takes for them. You will start to minimize their contribution and their struggle, because like I said, my younger two are terrorists, but they not terrorists with me. They terrorists with their mama.
My boy Oscar Bill says something, and I stole this from him, and I'll forever steal this and not give him credit for it. He says, I'm a great dad, but I'm a terrible mom.
Facts.
Right? I'm a great dad, but I'm a terrible mom.
We need to know that.
I didn't know how much of a good mom my kid's mom was until the kids were with me full time.
Yeah.
Okay, they got a fever. Okay, what do I? Oh shoot! Like I'm calling her. Okay, like what? But when they're with her, she doesn't have the liberty to call me. She just does it.
Yeah.
Tired or whatever, right? And so
I think that in my aspect, in my experience, the struggle was like I didn't have those struggles.
Yeah.
So parenting was always easy for me, even with the younger ones. Like I don't have the same backlash. Like if if I'm putting them to bed, they're gonna be to bed in 15 minutes.
Right.
They're not gonna do that with
Kids challenge the mother's authority.
100%.
Right? I don't have to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. You bet. No, I say it one time and it's done. Right.
And sometimes there's a little bit of resentment that comes back, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because they'll make the statement like, "Oh, you saw your daddy, now you want to do." Like, I want men to really take the time. If you married, if you have that aspect where you carry the daddy voice, where you don't have to yell, where they have been struggling and these kids have been running them ragged, take a little bit of time to really make sure you communicate an appreciation for what she does. Like my wife goes through HE double hockey sticks because she loves them and she's trying to be the healed version of herself. Because if she treated her kids the way she was treated when she was younger and like being raised by the older generation, they smacked you. That was it. That was the answer for everything. In the
Hispanic culture, they would get a chancla.
Chancla.
Boy, don't get hit by a chancla.
Chancla.
Because mom, she doesn't care if she misses, bro. Like, my back is strong only because it sustained chanclas to the back. For sure. Right? Missing my butt and getting to the back, and I'm just like, oh, man, you did lats all the time? No. I just got hit with the chancla all the time.
All the time. And I think that's the point. And the reason why I want to say that is even in what you described and coming later, that's one of the biggest places where there's a mismatch in the understanding of the experience. Yeah. I make myself a guinea pig in that aspect. Learn how to deal with the lack of affection and energy and time you get from a woman who's depleted it on their children. Oof. And sometimes that is a whole different level of ego, because you want to look at everything that you do as a justification for what you should get. Like, I ain't out here cheating, I'm paying bills, I'm being faithful, I'm doing these different things. None of that has anything to do with the fact that, he literally just drug all the paper towels throughout all of, like, it's so many different things and we laugh about it, but it's not funny when you going through it. Because they never get a chance to clock out. Yeah, even to the standpoint of like me being in Dallas right now, we're getting ready to go to a wedding. We about to take them jokers to a wedding tomorrow. And it's like, We don't even really get to spend the time that we want, but we love our kids, but I think there's some resentment that can be built on either way. So men, please make sure that you give your wife support. Please make sure that you don't ever make the carnal mistake of assuming that she's got something wrong with her because y'all's experience is different. A lot of kids don't try their daddy like they try their mama.
Right.
You think about it, daddy can come in and everything just goes silent because you just don't know who closed the door.
Exactly.
Like,
sound like dad.
Hold on. Let's go.
Right.
But if it's dad, it's like, I ain't finna get hit. And I tell on myself because that's how I dealt with peer pressure a lot of times. My grandfather, some of the kids knew him. And so when they try to get me to do something, they used to be like, oh, Chris scary. I was like, absolutely. Which one of y'all gonna tell Clemmy D?
That's funny.
And they would shut up because nobody wanted to deal with him.
Find the lie.
Like, nobody wanted to deal with him. So second question.
Go for it.
You sure you're ready?
Yeah, I think so. I think every question you've ever asked me on here, I've never been asked in my life.
Man.
So,
okay.
No pressure.
There's possibility that you might get another fresh off the press.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so get a moment to compose yourself. Breathe a little bit.
Hotness. Okay.
In fatherhood, what is the place where you feel like could take you away from fatherhood?
Break that question down a little.
So, for example, I had to deal with mourning my grandfather's death almost a generation after he passed. Like, I didn't really start grieving till around the 36, 37 age range. But I didn't know how to deal with still feeling abandoned even though he died. It wasn't within his control. And so death being one of those things that could be that. But sometimes one of the things I tell my children, and I'm very big on it, God forbid one day that I lose my mental capacities and I start becoming mean or I'm just a real angry, selfish person. I tell them, I'm not just asking you, I'm begging you, break a relationship with me because I cannot be abusive to you just because I hold the title of dad. And so pretty much the question that I'm asking is, what is the place where you will have to remove yourself and not try to hold that daddy tag?
Yeah.
When you unfortunately have now become toxic to your children.
So that answer is a two-part question answered. It's Apostle Paul says this: follow me as I follow Christ.
Yes.
Stop following me when I stop following Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So for my kids, it's the moment I stop leading with love first and not just with truth. And I tell people this, that God presented his son Jesus with love first and then truth.
Mm.
A lot of people think it was just truth and then love came. No, like it was
fed people.
He said, here's my son, right? Here's my son. And if whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Once they felt the love, then they knew the truth, right? So for my kids, like once I stop leading with love, I'm afraid that I'm no longer the voice of father.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe I'm a peer now, right? But then I get scared because I'm in that season right now with still like Jeremiah not being fully here, right? Like, and stuff like, and so it's like, the lie that I try not to believe is that just because my absence is present does not mean that I'm not dad still.
Yeah.
Right. And so I want to make sure that when fatherhood ends, whatever, right, they never stop calling me dad, right? And they remember me as dad always. My friend Michael Jr. shared this story just recently at our church, that the baby comes out of the womb and she's crying and it's a powerful moment. And he grabs the baby's hand and just says, "It's okay, daddy's here." When he says that, she calms down and her eyes open up. I recognize that voice.
I heard it. It's
a safe voice. We talked about this earlier, is I want to lead a life so transparent, even with my kids, that if they ever catch themselves in trouble, I don't want them to be afraid not to call me. I want them to be able to say, you know what, no matter what, this is the person I'll call no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. And that comes with presenting the atmosphere of it's okay not to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's okay not to have all the answers. I'm a dad for the first time in my life ever right now. Like, I'm still trying to do this thing called life.
Right.
And I'm trying to communicate to my kids, although I want to be the perfect dad, I'm imperfect.
Yeah.
Right. But I love them in a way that next to God, these are the things that I love the most in my entire life. And so the moment I stop leading with love is I believe that I have removed myself from fatherhood.
And the reason why I asked that question is we rarely prepare our children to deal with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are the problem. Sometimes we're the blind one. So what tools do we begin to give our children to either bring us back, or when they're older, hey, you do need to separate? Because as much as I want you around, if I'm in an unhealthy place, it's almost like the zombie movies. Like when you get bit, you got to send them on.
Bro.
Like, as much as I love you, I can no longer be that for you, because now I become more of a harm to you. And I don't want my last thought to be, I bit my son and now I've been in that situation. So learning how, hey, when does it, what can take you away from fatherhood is a difficult question.
That's a very difficult, it's unheard of, right?
You gotta look at it from that, because otherwise you will always be the blind spot.
Bro, so when this episode airs, the story's going to be a little bit old, but it broke me just 2 days ago. Hulk Hogan's daughter was being interviewed. Mm-hmm. You know, he passed, right? And everybody who's our age can relate to Hulk Hogan, right? We've all tore our shirt before, right? Yeah. Brooke didn't show up to his funeral. And she got all this lash. Oh, you know what? Whatever. Until they interviewed her, and she said, I had to protect my peace. Because although I love my dad dearly, I also have people that are dependent upon my peace, meaning her children, that I had to protect it in a way that I had to be absent from his funeral, because it would take me back to the places that I was broken.
Yeah.
So
when I say I feel that to the core, I had to tell my mother that I love you. I can't have the interaction because I don't have protection from you. You got access to places that I don't even know that I have. You can hurt me in ways that nobody else can. And the cutoff point was my kids. Because once she interacted with them and it felt familiar, I was like, nope. Like when I say a whole nother level of daddy came out,
right,
and it wasn't disrespectful, it was simply, hey, you can't say that to them. And that's the first time I've been terrified of my mother because I never knew her.
Yeah.
I wanted her, but I didn't know her. So I felt expendable. I felt like, hey, all these stories, like, you know, sometimes you hear things or a person do something, you're like, they won't do that to me though, because that's my mama. She loves me. I didn't have that. Like, oh, she won't swing on me. She won't hit me. She won't hit me with an object or anything. So there was always this, I'm just another person off the street to her.
Yeah.
Whether it was true or not, I'm telling you my perspective. So when it came to a place of where I had to say, I got to protect my peace. I will talk to you when I got the capacity for it, and I won't when I don't. And I hope, the only thing I can tell you is I hope that you don't take that as a personal offense. You'll see your son just trying to maintain a level of stability for his children.
There's a term for that, Chris. It's called son husband. I dealt with it. My boy Josh Jones dealt with it. Like you said, I didn't know that she had access to parts of my heart. So I would leave my wife 2-3 o'clock in the morning when mom called because she was drunk and I would run to her. I wasn't even being son. I was being her husband, son husband. As I began to heal, I had to learn to divorce my mom so that I could protect my heart and the boundaries for my kids.
And you gonna wait till the end to say
because that is a little segue into when I bring you back to the episode called The Trusted Circle, where we will talk about these issues. But son husband will be a topic that we talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's rarely talked about because people don't know about it.
For sure.
They deal with it, but they don't know about it.
Like perimenopause.
Stop. We can't do it right now. Like we're ending tonight right here. But
Got you.
Man, CDOT, thank you so much for tonight, man.
Thank you for the platform.
Like I said, anytime you're in town, we'll make things happen to shoot another episode. But GP Nation, thank y'all so much for tonight. Do yourself a favor. If you didn't do it before, do it now. Go follow my boy Chris at C.3 on all our socials. We'll tag his slogan here on the bottom, but he represents From Boys to Gentlemen. Do yourself a favor. Go get that book. Go follow him. All of those links are on his IG. But hey, GP, do us a favor, please. If you like tonight's episode, like, share, comment, but most importantly, go subscribe. We love you. I love you. We love hearing from you. We'll see you again next Thursday. Later.
Peace.
Modes on the beat.